Okay, that's pretty much a pain in the ass. One other thing that I did do is I laid one piece of electrical tape the length where the circuit board sits from between the two posts, just to make sure, because there's a capacitor sitting there, that's that little metal can thing, that I wanted to make sure it was isolated from the bottom too. That was just a precaution that I took. I know that wasn't what did it, because I put that in there before I isolated that post. What that post is, if you unscrewed it, a little spring comes out and this little ball bearing that holds the case on, which I'll wipe the grease and stuff off of here. This little ball bearing. I think it's a pain in the ass to have to take your mod apart, but it is a mod, and we've been modifying them for years, so I wouldn't expect things to change. Anyway, that's my fix. I've been farting around with this thing. At least I'm glad I have the ability to use it again. Now I'm waiting for this to break. But that's how I fixed it, and it is working. Just make sure when you're putting it back together, you're holding it at an angle to get the buttons put in, and before you sit the board in, because that's a big pain in the ass too. And I'm going to reshoot this because the whole thing sucks. Okay, first thing I did was took the atomizer off, took my batteries out, and I'm going to unscrew the two screws that hold this case on. I'm going to spin them off. And when you get inside, let's take that out. When you get inside, you just lift this off. You'll see your main circuit board and what should be the charge board. Now, I cut that charge board out because I was a little worried about the charging situation. I figured it'd be safer that way. That's not what caused this. Now, when you lift the circuit board out very gently and bring it to the side, you'll see two posts here. They each got a little Phillips screw head in it. This on the other side of the board, well, on the other side of the board, you'll see that this is from the two ball bearings. Mine is dirty, but that's what it's from. If you'll take a piece of electric tape and wrap this top post up, apparently this is what it's grounding on. So you take a piece of electrical tape, let me see if I can't get it closer for you, wrap this top, it's just like this one, wrap it up all the way around it, and then take like a little screwdriver and stuff it down behind it. Actually, I will take this one off. You can see it's just a regular screw. I just took a little screwdriver and a small measure of electric tape. I sat it in front of the screw and took my screwdriver and I poked it down very gently behind it so that the screw and the post that the screw is on is electrically isolated from the circuit board. Then I sat the board back. Well, You'll have to tilt the board to set the buttons in, but when you put the board back into place, you push the button to check it, and then set this case here in place, put your screw back in, well, it would help if I put all the buttons back. I left these two little buttons. This is the pain in the ass about this, because we've got to lift the board out, and it's hard to do this on camera, but you've got to put all three of these little buttons in their respective holes. So you kind of got to hold this at an angle while you're doing it, so the buttons don't come out of place. There we go. Get in there, you butthole. There we go. And all. Oh, now them two ain't gonna behave. Alright. I'm so glad this worked out convenient. Okay, all three of them are in place with it tipped. Get it in place. There we go. Now the buttons are there. We'll take this and set it back in place, making sure to catch the circuit board so that it's sitting in its correct orientation. Now, let's put these two screws back in. And once we get that done, I'm going to reinsert the batteries, positive up here, negative up there, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. It's put the cover on. You'll see that it is booting. And when we grab an atomizer, let's just use this silly clone here. We'll set the resistance. And you can see it fires now with it together. So that post in there that's holding this ball bearing, no, this one, the top one, toward the top, you have to electrically isolate that from the board, because when you're pushing the button, it's pushing something about the board into that, and that's the whole problem. So I hope this helps you guys. Thanks for watching my channel. Okay, well, that's what I did to fix my ipv4. Pain in the ass that you have to take your mod apart, modify it. Got it as a mod. As you can see, she's together. She's firing. And I'm back to vaping. This is the Kanger with the black seals in. I've decided for this one I'd put the black ones in to tell it apart, my nickel from my Kanthal builds. I hope this video helps you. I hope those of you that are having this frustrating problem and can't get any satisfaction from Pioneer for You, get enough guts to dive in there and put that little piece of tape in place, and you should be good to go. At least I hope so. I know that's what worked for me. You guys be cool. It's impossible for me, but you can do it.